Hello and welcome to CMS Forex News. I'm your market analyst Nick Nassad. Today is Friday, June 26, 2009. The euro-dollar pair rose today despite weaker stocks in Europe and a drop in the Dow Jones Index in the US. The pair extended its gains from yesterday as China reiterated its calls for a new global reserve currency that is delinked from sovereign nations, aka the US dollar and the US economy. The news weakened the greenback against its rivals, and some better U.S. data in New York trading gave the greenback a second jolt as risk appetite returned somewhat, pressuring the dollar further. For the week, the pair is up about 120 pips. In Germany, consumer prices climbed higher than expected in June, preliminary data showed. On the month, prices were up 0.4%, rebounding from a 0.1% decline in May. On the year, prices were up 0.1%. The pound-dollar pair stuck to its range we have been following this week, rallying today to the 1.6560 area, pairing the gains the greenback made in the previous two sessions. Traders continue to jostle for a direction for the pair as price action bounces between clearly defined support and resistance levels. In New Zealand, the first quarter saw growth contract 1%, the fifth quarter in a row that the New Zealand economy shrank. The figure was worse than expectations and follows a similar 1% slide in the fourth quarter. Manufacturing activity was down 7.2%, household consumption declined 1.4%, and business investment fell 7.3%. The New Zealand dollar slid against the yen in the aftermath of its GDP release and extended its losses throughout the rest of the session. Today's price action snaps a three-session uptrend in the pair, and for the week, the pair is now down, though the Kiwi did manage to regain most of its fall from earlier in the week. Consumer spending in the U.S. rose for the first time in 3 months in May, climbing 0.3%, which met expectations. April's figure was revised upward to show flat growth compared to the 0.1% decrease originally reported. The boost was driven by a 1.4% increase in incomes, which came as a result of tax cuts and Social Security payments from the Obama stimulus plan. Though spending is up, the savings rate did hit a 15-year high. Today's personal income and spending report includes an important measure of inflation that is closely watched by the Fed, the PCE price index. The core rate, which excludes food and fuel prices, rose 0.1% from a month earlier and was up 1.8% on the year. Both measures were lower than they were in April, reflecting that consumer inflation eased. Lower inflation will give the Fed leeway to keep interest rates low for a longer time. Also, a third release showed that consumer confidence rose again in June, the fourth straight month it has done so. The UMich Consumer Sentiment Index rose to 70.8 from 68.7 in May, and also rising above the 69 mid-month preliminary reading. The dollar-yen pair slid today to retest the lows seen on Tuesday and Wednesday as the greenback was pressured against its key rivals while the yen was stronger. Most of the fall came during European trading, as European stocks saw the worst declines today. The US dollar-Canadian dollar pair slid in New York trading yesterday and extended its losses overnight to the 1.1445 level. That was a 160 pip drop since the pair reached a one-month high at 1.1630. The greenback, however, did rally somewhat in New York trading. Next week is a short week as U.S. financial markets will be closed on Friday in observance of Independence Day, but the week is still full of important fundamental releases. The U.S. will release its non-farm payroll data, the ISM Manufacturing Index, data on pending home sales and home prices, and also another measure of consumer confidence. And that concludes our coverage of the Forex market for this week. Thank you for joining us here at CMSFX.com, and from all of us here at CMS Forex, have a great weekend.